So I'm excited. I think we're in our prime, Emily. Like we're just like in the
Yay.
beginning stages of our prime.
Hi, I'm Teresa.
And I'm Emily.
This is No Ordinary Friendship.
Hello, Teresa.
Hi, Emily.
You are truly a sight for sore eyes because I've just been with Cassie pretty much for a week.
I feel like you've been in the trenches and
I have.
you've somewhat emerged a tiny, tiny bit, like a little groundhog, but you've reverted back to your dark cave again.
Yes. Anyway, let's jump into it since my time is limited.
All right, apologies and corrections.
Yes.
Tell us.
This week I have apologies. Well, and corrections. Okay, so when I told you I was watching Love on the Spectrum and then afterwards we were texting and you didn't seem to know the same person, I guess I didn't specify. I was watching Love on the Spectrum, the US edition. So I guess there's an original series that was from Australia. And then there's a US one. I don't know if it's only on Netflix or what, but that's what I watched season 1 of.
I see. So we were both watching season 1, but in a different region.
I think so. Were your people Australian?
I don't remember because I watched it when it first came out, but I maybe.
I think that was from
we
like
didn't know any of the same
2019
people.
or something. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my correction. And then my apology is I'm just coming off of a very tiring week where Cassie was like very, very ill. So all that crap I told everybody about the sickness toolkit clearly does not work because she got really sick. Although I will say, I think like she does get sick like once a month from just starting daycare, but this is like the worst it's been. So maybe it could have been worse other times. I don't know.
Right. So it worked up until now because the new virus has kicked into gear for this winter season.
And I, knock on wood, have not succumbed to her illness, even though she's like coughing on me day in and day out and very little sleep. And I've been spraying that propolis spray like it's nobody's business. So maybe it still works for adults.
Maybe it does work. Yeah. Let me know next week, though, because we were talking about how taking care of a kid, you kind of go into that mode where you know you have to do it, you have to get it done, and then you succumb to the sickness later, kind of like finals week during college.
I cannot succumb because next Friday we're going to Disneyland. So
you cannot succumb.
My strength. Just powering
That is too
through.
much money.
Okay.
All right, breaking news. Emily, it was a very special day last week. It was your birthday.
It was my birthday, and I got another year older.
You had a great day, I think, and then everybody got sick in your family.
It's true. Actually, maybe they were holding out. So everything was fine through my birthday, and then like Monday comes along and shit hit the fan. So maybe they were doing it for me.
Yeah, we let Emily have her day. It's time to like reel her back into this family.
Yeah.
Let her show her worth.
But speaking of birthdays and just like getting older, it's so funny because I saw in a Facebook group, the Giggly Squad Facebook group I'm in, this girl was like lamenting being 27. She was like, oh, like how do you deal with it? Like, I feel like I'm so past my prime. I'm not 22 anymore. And while I like chuckled a little, I don't even blame her because I was the same way in my 20s. Like every year I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so old. Little did I know I was so young.
I know. I definitely remember having a quarter life crisis when I turned 25 too.
Yes.
And in hindsight, it is just so silly. But when you're in it, it feels like you just don't know where your life is going. You're probably not like married, maybe not even in a relationship. And that's like a huge factor unfortunately, for girls at the time as well. And like, you probably don't love your job. And social media now, you see a bunch of 21-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 18-year-olds that are like TikTok famous and just doing their thing, hella successful.
Must be even harder now to be young.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're past your prime?
I've said before to friends, like, I feel like my appearance maybe is past its prime because like I'm now on the downward slope of like how my skin looks, how my body looks.
Sure.
You know,
how it
and
feels.
There's just no denying that. But in terms of my life, I don't feel that sad because I'm like, there is like, when I'm 60, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I was so young when I was 39. So I'm no longer in that dark place as I age, but I do just realize every year I am aging. Versus in your 20s, it's like not really perceptible, right? Like you're aging, but are you really?
It's funny. I bet we have some older listeners that are like, oh, those girls, they're lamenting about how they're so old in their 30s.
Yeah, it's true.
I was listening to this podcast and this girl, she's a WAG. Do you know what that is? Wife and girlfriends of like sports stars.
And, okay. Yeah. I was going to make a wild guess and be totally wrong.
So she's a WAG for a football player, but she considers herself super, super old because I think she's like 33 or 34 and everybody else is much younger because I guess you can be an athlete right out of college or even during college. Yeah. She's like, oh, it's my life stage. I have 3 little ones. And that's what makes me feel like I'm in a different life. I don't know. Just I feel older than everybody else that is also a WAG. But she did say that she felt like she was in her prime. And that made me feel good because she's closer in age to us, even though she's still younger. And I was thinking about it too. I was like, I'm far more confident now and more established now than where I was back when I had my quarter life crisis. Like things are not perfect. There's still so many unknowns, but I feel like there's so much opportunity out there at the same time. Yeah. So I'm excited. I think we're in our prime, Emily. Like we're just like in the beginning stages of our prime.
I love it. Yeah, I do feel like I care less about what other people think. And I'm just like, clearly because of the way I dress when I go out. But yeah, I don't think we're past our prime.
Did you have any birthday goals?
No, not really. This week it was just survival. So I think I just hope the rest of my year is less bumpy than this first week was. And, you know, I'm not religious, but I was like, this is definitely God testing me and telling me, like, you can do this. Like, all the things I feared would happen, like, happened. And I was like, okay, well, we got through it, you know. And so another check mark on my motherhood scorecard.
Tell me about your PG&E bill. I don't know if you wrote this or if I wrote this.
I wrote it, I think, last night in a haze. But it came just in time. I got my new monthly statement. So remember last time we talked about it, I was like, PG&E forecasted that my next bill would be $650. And I decided to take action. And then I was like, okay, here's the moment of truth. Did it do anything to lower our thermostat and make our kids wear like double layers? And it did.
And?
I don't know if also part of it was our heater was broken for like a few days. But it ended up being like $450. So I saved like $200.
$200.
That's kind of crazy, right?
That's like a whole laser facial right there.
You're right.
You might as well just go to Rosewood and get a massage now.
I love it. I do need one. So if anyone else is trying to reduce their bill, there are small steps you can take, and they actually can make a difference.
Yeah, and you taught me that you can actually deep dive when you sign into PG&E. PG&E is just California, is that right?
Not even SoCal. When I was in SoCal, it was, I forget what.
PG&E is by far the worst. I think our friend told us that the rates jumped in January, which we knew was going to happen, but I didn't realize it was going to be by 13%, which is egregious. Truly egregious. Ours was very high. Ours was around 400-ish as well. But we weren't even here for a good chunk of time too. So that really concerns me. Oh, I hate them, those fuckers.
But you have the high ceilings, so I feel like it's harder to keep the heat where you need it, right?
I don't know, actually. That's a good point. But we have it controlled where you control the heat, the air on each floor separately.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that's better or worse. The kids are young. I'm just going to let them have... And Steven likes to run around in his shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah. I know Victor does too. He's really being sacrificed from his ideal lifestyle, but
they can put on a sweater, you know?
He's been forced to put on a sweater and long pants.
Okay, let's move on to pop culture. I'm so sorry for bringing up Taylor Swift again.
You seem like the Swiftie of our duo here.
But an extension of the conspiracy theory that you told me about last week. Heard some more, a little bit less ridiculous than her being a psychological ops person for the CIA, but how the Lions, do you know the Detroit Lions? No. Okay. So
Football.
they played against, yes, football, sports. They played against the Niners a couple weeks ago, but when this podcast comes out, it's probably like a month ago. And whoever won that game was going to go to the Super Bowl. The conspiracy theorists were saying how like the NFL did everything possible to make sure that the Lions didn't go to the Super Bowl because even though they had never they had never even been to the Super Bowl, let alone ever won the Super Bowl. So like it was kind of like their time. They would have been the total underdogs. Like everybody loves an underdog story. So if they went to the Super Bowl, they would have had to play against the Chiefs, which is what Taylor's boyfriend plays on. Everybody was going to be voting or rooting for the Lions and not the Chiefs. And they wanted to have that moment where like the Chiefs win and the NFL would love nothing more for Travis to propose to Taylor on the field after their Super Bowl win. So it feels like it's everyone in the Bay Area that is rooting for the Niners versus everybody else plus all the Swifties
in the world
globally. Yeah. that are trying to get the Chiefs to win.
So interesting. This is such an interesting time to be like following sports, I feel like. Because like Taylor has really changed the dynamic of who is interested and who cares and even the things they're talking about, right?
The WAG, the podcast girl that I was listening to that says she was in her prime, she was also like, now you got people like Simone Biles and Taylor Swift on the sidelines. How are people like me supposed to compare?
Have you heard of bedrotting?
No.
I feel like I don't know why. It's like popping up on my TikTok and it's just like people liking to like stay in bed all day, I think. But it sounds so negative.
Oh. I was going to say that sounds so nice.
Oh. Well, like bed rotting, I mean the word or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Wait, so what are the TikToks about? Just like videos of them in bed?
They're just saying like
period of time?
I think it's just like people celebrating that they don't like going out and they'd rather just be home in bed. And I don't know. It's like maybe a new Gen Z thing.
Isn't that Paige, though, from Giggly Squad, where
she
just
like to
enjoys
go
being
out.
in bed? Yeah, she just enjoys being in bed. So their whole thing and why people hated on them on the reality TV show Summer House, both her and Hannah, was that they would just stay in bed all the time. And people called them bed bugs. It's like, why are you even on a reality TV show if you're just going to be in bed when you're not partying? And I was like, they're probably in bed because they
partied. Yeah, they're tired. That sounds like a wonderful life. But yeah, I was just thinking like that's such an extreme way of saying it. And I feel like in our day, we just said like, oh, I'm a hermit or I'm a homebody, you know, like or a couch potato. Yeah.
Couch potato sounds really cute.
To rotting.
Maybe they're staying in bed for too long. Well, on the opposite note, do you know Emily Mariko?
I feel like she made that salmon dish or something that was really popular on TikTok.
She went super viral during COVID for making that, for not talking at all, I think, in her video, but for making that salmon rice dish bowl like in her microwave / on her countertop. But she's known for making videos that are like very aesthetically pleasing. There's tons of videos of her unbagging her groceries, cleaning and washing them, dicing them up, and then putting them into beautiful mason jars in her like minimalist kitchen. So she recently came out with a line of tote bags. Actually, not even a line. I think it's just one product. And the internet is coming for her because the tote bag is branded as a farmer's market tote bag. And everyone's saying it's just like the Trader Joe's tote bag, but a little bit bigger and branded her name instead of Trader Joe's. And it's, guess how much it costs?
$50.
More.
100?
More.
What? 200?
It was like 120, 125.
Oh my gosh.
Hate on her so much and it's already sold out. I mean, don't know how many actually.
So like, people bought it even though they hated on it? Then why would you buy a $125 tote bag?
Okay, you're a hater. This is not my point. I was going to say there's so much hate coming for her. And I was like, this is just the way things are. Like, there's always going to be comparable products that are very similar to one another, and one's going to be more expensive than the other. Like, Kirkland toilet paper is very similar to Charmin toilet paper, but Charmin's more expensive.
That's true. That's true. Like, who did she launch it with? Is it with, like, a expensive brand or something, or it's just her own?
I think it's just her own.
Oh.
It's just her own. I think she's probably testing out 1 or 2 products first and then probably wants to come out with her own home goods line. She reminds me of Joanna. Yeah, Chip and Jo. Yeah, she reminds me of that aesthetic that people really like and follow. But my whole thing was like, let this girl live.
If you don't like it, don't buy it, right?
Yeah, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Like, why make these really, really long, hateful videos about what she's put out there?
There's just a lot of anger on the internet, I've learned, from our one viral... I wasn't even part of one of the comment threads on our potato salad TikTok, but I think people were arguing about mayo. Like U.S. mayo versus QP mayo. And I didn't even read it all, but I was just seeing some of the notifications. And I was like, people are having a full-on fight without us. Like, it's our video.
There were like comments in that thread of just people going back and forth, being mad at one another.
And being mad at me for not Googling, so.
Yeah, there was actually even a new one today. I'm like, dude, Emily knows what a freaking Kirby cucumber is now. But the comment was, how do you not know what a Kirby cucumber is?
I really didn't, and my Korean husband didn't. Okay, I asked him first. He was like, I don't know, and we Googled it, and we were like, well, all we got was this Kirby pink character. So then I made a TikTok, and people just, came for me, so...
Just a couple. Just the really loud handful is what I'm learning.
Yeah, you're right. It's fine. It didn't bother me. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Okay, Parenthood family section.
Yes. Did you put 3-hour night?
No, you did.
I did. I did?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I put that.
I'm like, this week has been so long. I could have put it half asleep
last
and
week
forgot.
In this mom group, and I think it's a very common thing that we see these days. This mom was asking this group of women, like, what can I do to help be more connected to my husband? Like, my husband's love language is quality time. Mine is quality time and like physical touch or something. Like, what are some things that I can do in this season? Like, totally understanding that I'm in the season of young kids and like we're both working full time. We're both exhausted. A couple of people brought up the 3-hour night and I had never heard of it before. Do you know what it is?
No, not at all.
I'm not sure where it originated from, but the premise of it is after the kids go to bed, you have a 3-hour night with your partner, your significant other, whoever it is that you want to connect with. The first hour, you both do things that are productive for the family, whether that's cleaning up the kitchen, doing the dishes, the laundry, whatever it is. Kind of like get that mental and physical clutter and like thing off your to-do list. Do that together. And then the second hour, you spend time together. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, you spend time together. Whatever it may be. It could be watching a show together. It could be taking a shower together. It could be like doing a puzzle together. But like that time is devoted to the two of you connecting. And then the third hour is doing whatever the hell you want as an individual. If you want to like bed rot, if you want to watch your own show, like don't feel bad about it. And you still get that alone time that you want. And I just thought that was like a very good order of operations. Like those are the things that you need throughout the night and a really good structure that, I mean, honestly, like people in the comment section were like, how does this work if your kid doesn't sleep through the night or like you don't have enough time or someone has a work thing? And I think the general thing was this is all customizable.
When you can, right?
Yeah, like maybe even do it like 2 days out of the week or like 4 days out of the week. It still makes a difference because you're both kind of on the same page with the goal and intention of connecting. And I just really like that.
What does that assume your kid goes to bed at? Because like Charlie doesn't go to sleep till like 8:39 sometimes. I don't have 3 hours after that.
But you're not like with her until 9, are you? Like she's in her bed. No,
you're right. I'm not with her. But then I still have to eat dinner.
Yeah, that's true. You eat dinner really late. So maybe you have to customize
I think something. I could do like a 1-hour night and I only split that hour into like 20 minutes of each.
Hey, whatever works. It's like it doesn't have to be a 3-hour night. Maybe like a 3-section night.
But I do like that puts some structure around how you can achieve like, you know, making good use of time and feeling like you have quality time together.
Right. Because sometimes I want to hang out and Steven doesn't. Steven wants to hang out and I'm just like, let me watch my show in peace. So like if you're both on the same page, I do think it could be helpful. Not that I have ever brought this up to him. I just thought it was a good idea.
You should do it and report back to see how it works.
I was thinking about our New Year's resolutions, Emily. We're failing so hard.
Which I already forgot.
I wrote it down on a Post-it.
I haven't exercised a single time.
I haven't moved my body at all. And that was like one of the ones I wanted to do every week.
Yeah. And this week I did not prioritize myself once.
It's okay. It happens.
But, and life happens, when we can.
Yeah. Okay, the second thing I wanted to tell you in the parenthood section was privilege in mom groups. Moms, I feel like moms are shamed so fucking much. And I need to stop swearing because Tyler said, what the fuck the other day. Yeah, it's not good. But moms are shamed so much, and it comes out and manifests itself in Facebook groups too, where moms may be asking a question. And I feel like when I read it, it's it's very harmless, everyday type of question. It's like, help me evaluate these options. And then they're constantly adding like, oh, I know this comes from a place of privilege, or I know this is a privilege thing that I get to.
You always have to caveat your comments so you don't get hate,
there's
right?
always a disclaimer. And it only happens in mom groups because that's one group, like a type of group that I'm in. And the other type of group I'm in is like kind of around travel and things like that. And people are just going crazy with like the hacks, the luxurious things that they can do. And they never have to caveat with like, oh, I recognize it's such a privilege to travel like this.
Yeah.
And it annoyed me. Why is this such a common pattern for moms like in the online space too?
They've seen like the pattern. If you don't say it, somebody is going to hate on it. I don't know. I agree. Why do moms or women hate on each other? We should be women supporting women in this patriarchy. And like, if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't have to comment. Nobody is saying you have to answer, right? Let someone else answer. Just move along.
Just move along. Keep scrolling. Yeah. Like, why do you have to? I think because they feel like they have to educate the other person or the other parties when you don't have to.
They feel it's their duty.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that is the way.
Did you see? I actually didn't finish watching the whole video, but I think there was another woman. I don't know if it was on Instagram or TikTok, but she was like, basically hating on stay-at-home moms, saying like, why do people say being a stay-at-home mom is so hard? Like, I work full-time and my husband works full-time and we have our child at home and like my mom helps a little, but like I get everything done. My house is clean. Like, I don't know. She was like just saying that it's not that hard, and people were reacting to that in a negative way. Yeah. And I'm like, good for you if it's working out, but like it is really hard. And maybe like you haven't gotten to that stage yet, or you're like, you have one kid and some people have multiple kids, or like, I feel like the way she presented it was too criticizing, where she could have been like, hey, I'm really proud of myself for being able to do all this while still having a full-time job. She didn't have to go and like direct her criticism at stay-at-home moms or people who are saying it's difficult.
That's so hard. I feel like for that kind of thing, you just don't want to say anything. Because if she said like, oh, I'm so proud of myself for being like this, people are going to hate on that too.
That's true.
But I
feel like she was doing it on purpose to be like, oh, stay-at-home moms who complain, like, you guys should shut up. That's the vibe it was.
Sometimes I wonder if, because as we know now, as TikTok stars, you want people engaging in the comments. And so people intentionally try to make controversial content to get people to like fight with one another.
Maybe we should do that. We've been failing at getting people
New
to comment.
strategy. No niceness. No more disclaimers.
We're going to get canceled.
But it's okay because social media is such a small part of real life anyway.
Yeah, so true.
It's just the most vocal part of real life.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I have the last one in our parenthood. We have a lot of parenthood stuff this week. But you already know, but while I was going through kind of my hellish week, Victor happened to be gone at a company offsite. So I was dealing with everything by myself. And I really just felt so much compassion for anybody who is a single parent because I only dealt with it for 3 days. But some people, that's their day in and day out with 0 breaks. And even like if Victor was here and not physically helping, it's like that mental idea of like, oh, if something happens, I know he's there. Or like even just like sharing like an eye roll, like when a kid acts up. And I just realized like how isolated I felt being with my kids, even though like Tuesday they were both homesick, and I just felt like so alone. And I was like, oh my gosh, like if there are any single parents out there who want help from a stranger, like hit me up because I want to be there for you. Like I want to be your village, like it was so hard. So
yeah, I've been thinking a lot about military moms recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, because their husbands are away for an extended amount of time, and I just don't know how to do it. And they like constantly move around, and they don't have a stable village.
Mm-hmm. I do feel like they help each other, though. At least like a couple of Instagram influencers I follow who like have military. It seems like form very close-knit communities with each other because they have that shared experience.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And especially if they're on base, they probably have like close proximity to some of those other moms as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree. I don't know how single parents do it. Sometimes the scheduling doesn't even work out with two parents. I don't know how one person does it and have the entire burden of being the breadwinner as well.
Yeah, it's a lot. Kudos to any of you single parents. All right, should we move to random? Okay.
MLMs. There's a new MLM that I saw. It's a crypto scam. Okay. But what struck me about this was it was somebody that I lived with during college that was pushing this
part of
Facebook. It? Yes. I was so confused. I thought she was
Wait, you lived with her?
I lived with her. She was
so I met her?
You've definitely met her. You probably don't remember her because it was freshman year. I lived in a suite with 7 other girls.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't remember all of them.
Yeah, so she had her own room, but her room was right next to mine. And we were definitely friends. And she is like out there now on Facebook pushing this, what is clear to be a crypto scam, and how like,
whoa.
I just don't even know how that brainwashing started and how it ended up there. And at first I was like, oh, cool, she's getting into crypto. But then she keeps posting these pictures of these, what looks like stock photos. And they hold up this little board, kind of like how people use those little boards for kids, like first day of preschool or something. They hold these little boards, and it was like, whoever just got me out of $450,000 out of debt. And then another would be like, oh, I just made $579,000. It's like, in what world do you make that much money so quickly?
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a real board. Like, it was clear that they just
like typed
photoshopped
it on or something.
Yeah. They just photoshopped it.
Oh my!
I was definitely in shock and was a bit appalled that this really smart person,
college educated and everything,
definitely college educated, smart, was like rational, wasn't one of those like crazy college people, is now a very blatant scammer.
It's okay, Teresa. People are gonna be like, "Oh, I went to college with this girl, and she's a podcaster now."
She's not only a podcaster; she's a failed podcaster.
Not failed. We're just on the very early stages of our journey.
Yes. The growth is just slow.
Speaking of scams, have you heard that like someone used like the deep fake, which I don't even know what that means, but they like scammed a company out of like $26 million?
So what company?
They used AI to pretend to be like the CFO or something of this company and called a meeting with somebody who's an employee of the company and somehow like scammed them of $26 million.
Wait, that is crazy because they must have deepfaked a bunch of other people besides the CFO,
I think
right?
So,
like the lawyers and like the bankers.
Yeah. And it's funny because that one's definitely very high tech, right? Because they had to like fake their face and their voice and all that. But even when I was working, I almost got scammed once because I got an email. It looked like it was from my boss, unless you click into like to see what the email address is, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, hey, I'm in a meeting, but I need you to do something for me. And luckily, I think I had been like on vacation, but I was like, oh, why did he send me that? So I think I texted him and he was like, I didn't send you an email. But like, if it had gone on and I didn't catch on, like I could have,
you would have done the thing,
sent him money or something, you know, like did whatever he said to do with like the credit card or something. And I wouldn't have caught on. Yeah.
I wish you did. It is very dangerous. Well, I wish you would have. I wanted to know.
Money.
Well, no, because you don't know that's exactly what they would have asked for, right? I'm curious to know like what their end game was.
Yeah. Like keep it going.
Yeah.
it was a thing. Like, I think it happened to another one of the companies that I was working with where somebody sent a check for like $14,000 or something. And it was like a scam. Yeah.
$14,000. Should we scam somebody? Just kidding.
I guess if you do too much, like it's too obvious. So they wanted to keep it under the radar, you know?
Yeah. I'm not thinking about how to scam people now, Emily.
We just want to scam people to become our followers.
No, we want them genuinely to be engaged and interested.
By the way, did you see that Paige got bangs? And did you see that I have bangs? Like, don't you feel like they're copying us in our alternate universe?
Wait, does she have curtain bangs?
No, they're more like real bangs, but still.
Oh, I can't imagine her with bangs.
Yeah, because you're not on Instagram, right?
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Yes,
I don't know if I like that. I feel like everyone that gets bangs hates them and then
I regret it immediately.
Yeah.
Because now, like, it's always in my face. Like, I clip it up in the morning. And also, like, it gets greasy faster. So, like, I used to be able to go many days without washing my hair. But now I feel like my bangs give it away. So I have to wash my hair more frequently.
Wait, is it because you touch it more often because you're like, trying to get it out of the way?
I'm pushing it out. Or maybe because it's like on my greasy face. I don't know.
Have you heard of dry shampoo?
Yeah, I have dry shampoo.
Oh, sorry. Not dry shampoo. Dry powder.
No, what's that?
Apparently, it's like the next iteration of dry shampoo and works even better and less. Sometimes it could feel kind of like when I use dry shampoo, I have to go shower that day or the very next day because I cannot do 2 days of dry shampoo. It just feels really gross after that. Looks fine. But apparently dry powder doesn't give off that same feeling. It almost feels like you really do have freshly washed hair.
Oh.
I'll have to give it a try.
Yeah, I actually have a dry shampoo that is more of a powder form.
Oh, is it better?
Maybe it doesn't give that same like icky feeling as regular like aerosol dry shampoo.
Yeah.
But it's in like also like a spray thing that doesn't work that well. So I think I'm like, I don't know if I'm using enough or doing it right because I just like give up.
I also don't really know if I'm using it right either. But until I get to that desired non-greasy look, I'm going to keep on spraying.
Okay, on that note, I think we should wrap it up.
All right, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Remember to rate, review, and share.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day, we were supposed to say. Happy Valentine's Day, listeners. We love you.
We love you guys.
Bye.